Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
Welcome to the Not Watching Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and today I'm joined by
Marcus Hurley
and
Iain Bruce.
Yeah, so I have been dodging the cinema more than I usually would this time of year, but there were a few films that I couldn't not see. So I think it was a week ago, they both come out very close together. So I saw Mission Impossible Fallout, and this was after having done a big rewatch of all the others before. I thought I would. They'd done it on the Slash Filmcast, and I thought, yeah, it'd be really good to revisit that series. I've kind of, I don't know, it's been like a weight around my neck, my affection for the second film. I've
what are you talking about, mate? What are you talking about?
I've had much ridicule from certain members of.
It's been about 20 years you've been ridiculed for that. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it came out in 2000, MI2, but I still honestly rate it, having watched it again. It is well stupid, no doubt about it. Like, there's the script is like clunky as fuck. Some of the lines are just garbage. But I find the first film quite slight. I like what they were going for. Cruise is stupidly young in that one. And yeah, I mean, it is pretty decent. It's Brian De Palma directed it. It's, it's a solid movie. Yeah. But, I just liked 2 because it was like a bit of a John Woo thing. And I think after The Matrix, I was just a bit obsessed with all that slow-mo. Yeah. Dual wielding guns. I still love that scene in the lab, where he jumps out the window and all that. That's fucking wicked. 3 I watched, and I tell you what, I watched it, and J.J. Abrams directed 3, and I couldn't remember a single thing about it. And I watched it, and I couldn't tell you a single thing about it.
Isn't that the one with the stupid bike chases, or was that 2?
2's got bikes. 5 and 6 have bikes.
Right.
3 has got. There's a bit on a bridge, I remember, where they blow up a bridge. Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it. The thing about it is, it all starts off with him like sort of retired and having a wife and stuff, who's played by Michelle Monaghan. See what I mean? You're drawing a blank, aren't you? Yeah. And then there's her who they've cast, Kerry Russell. They have to rescue her. She's quite badass in it, but dies very quickly. And yeah, that's it. And the MacGuffin of it is such a MacGuffin, they never even tell you what it is. And I think that's Abrams just having fun.
That's what a MacGuffin is, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So then 4 comes along, and I don't know whether it's just because it was so brilliant and a step above all of the others, and also because basically I bought the 4 Blu-ray pack, but the only one of the films that looks in the slightest bit like a Blu-ray is 4. So there's a big jump. But then I think also, like, by then, I think film techniques had changed and the way they were getting mastered and everything. So I think maybe there was some of that involved. But anyway, 4 is fucking brilliant. Like, that whole Burj Khalifa, that scene
that
is
was
just
4.
nuts.
I'm sure that was later than that.
No.
Man.
No, that's 4.
That's
4.
crazy.
There's only 6 films.
And the last one's the 6th one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So...
The one...
So...
the one before had them going backwards in a car, Simon Pegg and Cruise. And Cruise doing that water thing with the big funnel tubey bit.
Yeah, that's 5. But the remarkable thing on 5 is the kind of pre-credits.
Yeah. When he's hanging off a plane.
When he's hanging to a plane, yeah. So 6 comes along, and the big thing about the series is that every single one of them has been directed by a different person. And so this is the first time that he's invited a director back again to do another one. And also, this has some of the same characters like Rebecca Ferguson's character.
Which director?
cool.
From
Christopher McQuarrie,
who did 5? 4?
who did 5.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So he's carrying on, and he also did some of the Reacher stuff with Cruise as well, I think.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So Fallout, which is number 6. It's the longest film to date. Empire have done like a ridiculous amount of podcasts about this film for some reason. For some reason, the director gets on with those guys. They've just put out another 3-hour fucking behind the scenes deep dive on the making of this film,
Right.
which I haven't listened to yet, but I've listened to 3 hours of it already. So
God.
anyway, but it's quite fascinating how they put this film together, you know, because like they didn't have a script. They got the finished script as a wrap gift, as in like, we've now all finished it and this is what you said. So it's like they basically, Macquarie and Cruise have a conversation about what mad shit he wants to do.
Yeah.
And then Macquarie basically has the job of like being the games master,
Yeah.
and making it all work and fit together. So like, and he was saying like there was scenes in it where he'd get Cruise to like walk down the street, and then he'd get him to walk down the street again with a briefcase, because he's like, well, you know, if you've got a briefcase, you might have something in there that you need to take somewhere, and we might need that like to make sense.
Oh my god!
Something
Seriously?
It sounds like the most insane like fucking thing that he's put together.
That's mental.
And for the fact for it to all hang together into a pretty entertaining movie, you know, I mean, it takes the odd sort of license here and there with you know, credibility or believability, but the other thing I liked about it is that rather than there being one mad thing that he does, and there is one mad thing that he does, they do kind of pepper it throughout. He's doing mad stuff through most of it.
Yeah.
And including one sequence in London where he famously smashed his ankle up.
Moustache
But that's not... Yeah, but that was not the mad bit. But I won't say what that is.
I think everybody knows what it is, don't they?
Well,
I don't.
yeah. Okay. But it's funny, the place that sequence is supposed to be taking place in is not actually that place. It's New Zealand.
Yep.
And it's because it's the only place that would let them do it.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
So again, there's loads of YouTube videos where there's like a 45-minute one of all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and all of that is the footage of those shots being done. It's breathtaking. Really, really breathtaking.
Wow.
Yeah. I went and watched it with my sister after a fairly heavy night, and it was just what the doctor ordered, really. You can't go wrong. And having watched all the others, Henry Cavill's really good, moustache and all. He's a fucking fearsome looking dude next to Tom Cruise, who, you know, is quite, you know, like a small ninja compared to this fucking beefcake of a man like who's he's working with. And Peg's good in it as always. If you like Peg, and Ving Rhames has quite a bit to do as well. I would say
Rebecca Ferguson's in it as well, right?
Yeah, so she's returning. Yeah. She's the other connecting tissue from the previous movie.
Yeah.
I mean, they managed to hang it together pretty well. I will say, if they do another one, and they probably will, Cruise is going to be 60.
That's all right.
Well, I mean, if he can stay in the same shape, but apparently I've heard that it's getting to the point now where he can do that stuff, but it fucking hurts now. So,
is he like the Daniel Craig Bond era sort of thing? Like he won't do any more, and then he'll do 2 more, and then he'll complain about how old he's getting and achy. Then he'll do another one.
Yeah. Well, they've been asking, like, do you intend to keep making these, or are you going to hand it off to someone at some point? And he's like, his attitude, I think, is he'll keep making them until he can't make them.
And then he'll buy the license so no one else can.
Yeah.
Well, he owns it already. He's a producer on these movies. You know, he's in full control of what's going on. It's his fucking golden goose. Right. So that's Mission Impossible. The other big movie I saw was Ant-Man and the Wasp, which came out in America like about 5 years ago, but was delayed over here because of a certain sports tournament, which I might mention later.
Come on, Tim. Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. I watched this. I went into it with fairly high expectations, as I do with every Marvel film.
Yeah.
Because generally I am, I'm very easy to please as far as Marvel goes and their formula. However, I didn't really like this film very much.
Finally, there's one. Finally.
It's pretty much like I don't know why it wasn't that it was anything I didn't expect, but there's a villain in it, but they're not very good and they're not very villainous, and it's just a lot of the humour landed just wrong on me.
Right.
It reminded me of when I saw Jurassic World, and I was just like, they're like cracking jokes, and I'm like not laughing at many of them. There were some that I did, honestly, and there's some moments in it that are cool. I like for a fact that it's all set in San Francisco, and they do some quite cool things with scale in and around some of the famous areas, some of which I've actually been to. So that's always going to get me on board in the same way that Mission Impossible did when the cruise is running around the South Bank. But I'd really like to get your take on this, Marcus. I know you haven't seen it yet, but it's definitely
I don't
down
know.
the bottom. Down the bottom for me.
I'm finding some of the films. I mean, I'm still half and half with Ragnarok, to be honest. I enjoyed it overall, I think, but I just found that some of it was just missing for me. That was the first film where I started feeling the cracks, which is weird because I haven't seen it since. I need to see it again. I think it's on one of the rental things. I might have to see if I can grab it or something, or maybe just rent it on Google or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that film. I don't think it's. I wouldn't say it's not very good, and it literally divided my opinion. It was like when I first watched Last Jedi. I didn't quite know how to feel about it. And I still don't quite know really where I sit with that film, because I know there's some bits I absolutely loved, and I know there's some bits where I just sat there and I kind of went like, yeah, it's kind of funny, but it feels a bit like it's turning into The In-Betweeners or something kind of not. I know that's meant to be funny because of the way it is, but I mean, like, it felt a bit too ad-libbed for something that's like a big Marvel movie, which did work for some of the jokes, but some of them I just felt a bit like I should have been watching something else, a bit more of a spoof or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'll take my time to watch this film, but I'll let you know what I think. I get the feeling I get the feeling I won't enjoy it as much either, because I don't seem too fussed about it.
It's just hard to follow up Infinity War. By the way, I really like Ragnarok because I'm a big fan of Taika Waititi and his previous work. So
yeah. I mean, that's fine, but it's just I don't know. I mean, I get the feeling that Ant-Man and the Wasp is one of those films which is almost irrelevant. Does it? I mean, without giving any spoilers away, is it there to kind of just explain why they weren't anywhere near Infinity War, or does it not even?
I can give you spoilers if you like. I can really give you spoilers if you like.
Yeah, I can imagine you could, Ian. I imagine you've researched it thoroughly just so you could spoil it.
No, it's after Infinity War. There's a subreddit called Thanos Did Nothing Wrong that you can join.
All right.
Cool.
And
they did a snappening, they called it, where half of the subreddit just got banned. I joined the day before and I did not get snapped. But there's lots of stuff in there. Although it's a comedy subreddit, there's a lot of stuff in there about the movies and shit. And while I'm never going to see Infinity War or probably Ant-Man and the Wasp, to be honest, it's quite interesting to see people being passionate about it. Yeah. So
no, I love stuff like that, like where things sit in timelines and stuff and everything else, and I'm always intrigued by bits like that. But maybe that's why I was a Marvel Comics fan, because it all kind of intertwined and all that sort of thing, and it always got my little brain going at the time when I was a kid and a teenager.
I think the idea is that it takes place kind of slightly before Infinity War. And then there's a post-credit scene.
Of course.
That's a bit more recent.
Okay.
And it wouldn't take a genius to understand what that involves.
Yeah.
But I won't explain it all because you haven't seen it. But I would say check it out, but don't rush. Don't rush to see it.
I wouldn't.
And don't pay for cinema to see it.
I did enjoy the first Ant-Man. I thought that was quite
Yeah,
fun.
I still enjoyed that. I mean, I watched it again probably about 6 months ago or something like that. I think it's on Netflix, and I really enjoyed it still.
Yeah.
All the bits of that, they do it again.
Right.
There you
go. Okay.
Woo! Amazing.
Plus, it's got Evangeline Lilly in it.
Yeah, well, worse things have happened. Anyone seen any other films? I've got a few more, but I'll let someone else have a go.
Currently watching Captain Rob, the syndicalists.
No, I can't help it.
I don't know. It's just the way you said that.
I don't go into these films like
I know.
Like wanting to dislike them, especially ones that I pay money to go and see.
No, I'm totally with you on that.
But I'm not going to lie and say, oh, that was fine. I just twitched my brain off and it was fine. I'm sorry. I'm willing to be entertained. Marvel have set a certain bar, I think.
As low as it is. Yep.
Yeah, I know you might disagree in, but to me, there is a certain bar there that they have to hit. And if they don't hit it, I'm going to be disappointed. So
they could make a Glee revival with Spider-Man and it would make $500 million.
They did. Spider-Man 3.
Yes. That was Venom that made him do that. It wasn't... But it feels like that they've started well. Iron Man was good, and some of the others, the Hulks were a bit poor before Iron Man, but it feels like they've just kind of lost their way, and they're doing it by the numbers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree that I think some of the films should have a different tone, which is why I was impressed with Infinity War, because with the start of it, it starts with the typical Marvel flickbook thing, but you hear the distress call from the ship, and it's like the tone is immediately a lot darker. Yeah, which is why I liked it, because it's different. It's something that feels a little bit different. You got some of the jokes, but the tone is there's definitely a tonal shift in it.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I do wish that some of the others were a bit different. But if they're all done,
I thought
Ragnarok it's almost over.
It was too much. It was too much like a series of It was like a blooper reel. I thought Black Panther was just bad. It was just bad. It felt so formulaic.
It was a bit like a late Brosnan Bond movie.
Yeah, even down to like the surfing. Some of the effects were just how has this got out the door? Jesus.
I thought the villain was quite good though. I could at least he had a sort of ideology or something.
Yeah, I was with him up until the point where he went from.
And he had a certain amount of presence. I thought he was.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was great up until the very last part where he made a leap from sort of downtrodden, rising up, wanting to do this because the world has hurt him, into sudden crazed megalomaniac, vaporize half the world, and then people in the country just started killing each other that they've known for years. That was the bit that kind of made me. That was the only bit that really made me kind of go, in that film, where they just started just randomly killing each other.
That wasn't an origin story, was it? It carried on from stuff previously.
He was introduced in Civil War.
Yeah,
and this might be the problem for me because I haven't read comics for a while. I'm a big fan of them, but I haven't read them for a while. But all of the people that I really grew up with, I've seen their origin stories multiple times. Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, the big four-ish.
Yeah.
But Black Panther, I've heard a lot of great things about, but he's kind of been a cameo in Civil War, and now we've gone on to and now he's doing stuff. But I've not had an opportunity to realise why he's doing stuff.
He was a bit more than a cameo in Civil War.
He was, but he was just kind of inserted. He wasn't.
Yeah.
This is who he is, where he comes from, why he's doing this, his struggle, his background. his reason for being this person.
Yeah.
I think, because he's introduced in Civil War, and I feel like Black Panther, the film, they were in such a hurry to introduce so many people.
Yeah.
He gets a little bit lost amidst it, I find.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of my problems with that movie. I need to see it again, really. But,
He was if you watch Civil War again, he seems so much better in that film.
Yeah.
Just his character, the way he is, the way he acts. It seems so different from the Black Panther film. Black Panther film, they literally, I know they were going for a Bond sort of thing, but he does seem a bit too almost suave. It's almost like the Black Panther suit.
Is he getting another movie? Do you know? Does anybody know? Is he getting another one?
I don't know. I probably wouldn't imagine so. But
having banked $1.3 billion, I would imagine so.
Was that just Black Panther?
That's just Black Panther.
Jesus.
That's worldwide.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it might not happen. He might just have roles in other films because they know the character's successful.
Next Avengers, eh?
There's someone at Disney going, another one, please.
Yeah, but you're forgetting about the cartoon series on Disney XD and the plushies and everything else in Black Panther world, which they're going to build. And they're actually probably going to rebuild Wakanda or something like that as a ride.
The two highest grossing movies of the year is Avengers and Black Panther.
Yeah.
So,
also, there's a popular film category at the Oscars next year. Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
You won't get it.
Jesus Christ.
Because they're trying to crowbar it in somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny that.
Was it best black superhero movie? And all the nominees just said one name. It's just like, and then it's Moonshine. Oh no, sorry, we're not going there. It's like,
have you heard about this Crazy Rich Asians film that's coming out?
No.
I just heard about it. It's based on a book, and apparently Netflix offered the guys making it like big payday and 2 sequels guaranteed, and they turned it down because they want it to go on the big screen, and because Asians just don't get that kind of representation, so they've sacrificed the payday, and they're making it go to get it on a cinema release.
Wow.
And so many people are behind it. People are like renting out cinemas and like organising
cool. Nice.
free screenings of it and stuff.
Yeah. I like
and
that.
It's now ironically looking like it's projecting to have a massive opening because of that.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's great. Just take the initiative and just give cinema back to the people a bit more.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Well, they're saying because it's then like a yardstick by which if people are like not willing to give people money for a film like that, they'll go, but that one did all right. So, I mean, it's the same for Black Panther and what that did. So, just sort of resets the agenda, which is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of box office, I noticed just behind Ant-Man and the Wasp is Rampage, which I think you saw, Marcus.
I saw indeed.
Seamless.
I did see that. I gotta say, it was everything I expected, and I would like to say more, but as expected, it was a brainless monster sort of.
I may rent it now. I think it's on Amazon or something.
And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I'm sorry, he is such a charismatic son of a bitch.
He's a beautiful, beautiful man.
If ever I wanted someone to pick me up and throw me in the air like a small child, it would be him.
He made Baywatch the movie watchable.
I've not seen it, but I will do.
Alexandra Daddario a bit as well.
I want to see. I actually want to see Skyscraper, which is his next one.
That looks hilarious as well. I mean,
that looks quite good.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
No. Oh god, Rampage, so much fun, just crazy. Obviously it goes mental. Obviously it's got military in it, and obviously it's got giant mutant creatures, and obviously it's got Negan being Agent Negan.
It's based on a video game, the famous video game of the same name.
I just love that he's just kept his Negan accent. What's his name? Jeffrey Dean
Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
He's also
Jeffrey
the dad
Morgan.
in Supernatural, so he's he's always been like
And
that.
But he has the permanent Negan shit-eating grin, and even the lean still. He's like, you didn't know the wolf flies. It's like,
Rick.
but it's more tolerable because he's not surrounded by pricks. He's just surrounded by giant mutants, and he's actually, I think he's actually a good guy in this one. He's actually on the right side for once, so he's likable. But yeah, no, I can't really explain the plot because it's just, I don't want to give it away, but it's just, it's almost like a Teenage Mutant Hero Turtle plot. You know, something happens, things are around, they mess stuff up, and at the end of the day, there's an ending.
Just get big.
Yeah, gets big, shit gets wrecked, goes on a rampage.
Fair enough.
It kind of reminds me of the first Transformers movie, where it's just a silly, fun film. You know, before the inevitable sequels, where it's just, it's just things happen, it's watchable, and you're kind of like, where's it going next? What's happening
Obama
next?
was in the White House.
I want to do this.
Just much better.
Want to do that. And
Transformers
then
remains one of my top films of all time. It's a beautiful film.
I don't know. I wouldn't. It's not quite as up as the first Transformers film, but it's close. It's close.
But it's that kind of representation of
where
it
comes
from.
Like I said, it's not afraid to do what it does.
Yeah.
And it does it as well as it can, considering its constraints. And I think it is just, I mean, it's a film about giant mutant monsters.
So it's not Battleship then?
No. Funny enough, Battleship, I looked at the runtime for that. It's over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's free
on
Netflix. I think it's on Netflix at the moment, or one of the streamers.
But how in the name of Zeus's butthole is that film? 225, I think?
I fear there's a lot of setup before the aliens start pounding arse.
Jesus. I just thought, really?
It's like, worth a look, though. It is Peter Berg. It's his, like, will you let me do Lone Survivor if I do the thing that you've got laying on the shelf? Yes, it's Battleship. Bet you wish you hadn't said that. But it's alright, it's got some good bits in it.
Yeah, the start.
And the credits.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. 2 hours 11.
Jesus.
Yes, but for what it is, it could have been about 25 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, speaking of films that are what they are, I was trying to prep for a film released in cinema that's just come out called The Meg, which I haven't seen, so expect a review in the next podcast.
With Jason Statham.
With Jason Statham. The Stafe versus The Meg. I wanted to see it, like I said, when I was convinced I needed to see that film, when Jason Statham said the word Megalodon. A word I never thought I would ever hear Jason Statham say.
Listeners, Jason Statham has just appeared on Marcus's webcam. He's in the room with him.
But, yeah. So
I do really enjoy him saying Megalodon. It is fucking brilliant. It does make me want to see it. Loads.
Somebody had to explain to him what it was, right? He didn't just...
He probably thought it was like a flying squirrel.
I just imagine him in the meeting going, a Megalodon?
A fucking what?
It's a Megalodon.
Give it to Danny Dyer. I ain't fucking doing that.
How much? Oh, right.
All right.
Yeah.
China funding. All right. Yeah, all right. I'll give that a go. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, what I was going to say isn't really worth talking about much. But in order to prep for that, I decided to watch the Sharknado movies.
Nice.
Legendary.
From 2 to 5.
Wow.
That hurt.
So that's what...
That hurt a lot. I feel as though, they talk about the death of brain cells. I could feel them actually going in Sharknado 4. Is,
you love it, you slag. You love that.
Sharknado 4,
it's called The Fourth Awakens, isn't it? It's not called Sharknado 4, yeah.
No, yeah. The first one is Sharknado. Second one, Sharknado, the second one.
Yeah.
And it starts off with an airplane joke. Because they're actually in a plane.
And there's loads of cameos on that plane, if I remember correctly. Not that I've seen them all, of course.
Who plays the guy, Bert, he's actually the pilot in the start of the plane. So it starts off with the tail fin in the clouds, like from Airplane and stuff like that. And that's probably why it's called the second one. Because
surely they'd have had some
Airplane.
copyright issues, that, surely.
Oh, I don't know. He's in it.
Missed it.
He's in it. Yeah.
Don't call me Shirley. Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway,
okay.
It could be worse. They could have seen the grown man naked, so it's all right.
So what? So what is it about then? Explain to me the premise.
Sharknado.
Well, using
the title, my friend.
Using science, you got a nado and sharks, and they meet, and become a
What, so they-
Sharknado.
Yeah.
So what? It's just teeth, basically.
It's
sharks. But the key thing, the
Yeah.
thing about a Sharknado, which makes it unique, is that when the sharks are expelled from a tornado of swirling sharks, they can somehow navigate air currents and hunt people down and kill them.
So it's
or
like
land on them.
flying sharks.
Yeah.
Flying, gliding. These
Homing
you ever seen
sharks.
like those Japanese cartoons where like rockets are fired and they lock onto a target, and rather than fly straight, they go in every other direction and then land on it. That's what the sharks do, which is impossible. In fact, in one of the films, they ask,
Hold on.
"How can the shark
tornado is
survive?"
impossible. I think the bits afterwards are kind of...
Yeah, I know. This is what I loved about it. The fact that... But the second and third film kind of were a bit linear. The story continues. The fourth film gets so crazy, I put a Facebook status of me crying, going, I just can't even... I just... When Sharknado reaches a point where even it makes the previous Sharknado films look like pillars of storytelling, it's a new level of just ridiculousness that I didn't know was even possible. It's like Monty Python becoming more Monty Python than Monty Python.
Holy balls.
So you stuck it out through all of them?
I did. The fifth one brings it back, though. The fifth one, maybe they
right.
watched the fourth one and went, "Oh shit!" Because there's some bits that kind of explain some bits in the fourth film. There are certain characters in the fourth film that turn up, and you don't know who they are, where they've come from, or who they're meant to be, and they're never referred to. And in the fifth film, they actually go back and put some exposition as to who they are.
Apologise and explain. Nice.
And the Hoff is in it.
Oh, cool.
Well, that's always good then, isn't it?
No, it's not, mate. But
Oh, awesome.
anyway,
Okay.
that's all I've got to report on it. I would say if you're ever going to do a Sharknado marathon, yeah, prepare for pain. It's so silly. And also, oh no, that was it. In the fourth one, it just kept evolving. There was a Sharknado, a Oilnado, a Boulder-nado,
Wow.
I'm trying to remember what they were. It was, and a nuclear nado, because it went into a nuclear power station and absorbed all the radiation.
Oh my god.
So it was like this green glowing shark and these radioactive sharks that were like hitting things and just nuking them. It was just insane.
Nice.
Yeah, I've saved you a lot of trouble.
Thanks,
Well,
mate.
I won't be doing that again.
Thanks for going there for us.
Christ, my brain.
I've watched. I did finally catch up on a couple of films from earlier in the year, around Oscar time. One of which also involves water again. Shape of Water. I watched this. Guillermo del Toro it won the Best Picture. Have either of you seen this yet?
No.
No, not yet.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's basically Beauty and the Beast, but it's set sort of around like Cold War time, I think. And yeah, there's a merman in a tank. And I don't know, I just let it wash over me. It was just brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really nicely done. Great soundtrack. Yeah, it was a few weeks ago now, so I won't go into detail, and I don't want to spoil it. Although I don't know, it's just not it's not the sort of film that you can spoil as much. It's just a really nicely put together piece of work. As was the Phantom Thread. Sorry, that's what it's called. The final film to feature Daniel Day-Lewis, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And directed by P.T. Anderson. Big fan of most of his stuff. And yeah, he's just making dresses and getting obsessed with a woman, and it all kind of goes a bit wrong. But yeah, it's another film, you kind of just have to see it if you want.
Fair enough.
It's got a really good score as well by Johnny Greenwood, which really, really works and really sells a lot of the emotion that you might not otherwise have got from the performance that Daniel Day-Lewis gives. There's a very good scene right at the start where he's ordering breakfast. You may have heard of this. And it's like the most... It's the breakfast order of champions. And he's just doing it, and the way he's explaining it all. And I'll have one poached egg and a side of bacon. And He just keeps going on and on and on, and it's like, and then he asks this waitress out who he's talking to. So, yeah,
Smooth.
it's very cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Okay,
Cool.
anyone got any other movies they've seen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Ian.
Go on, Ian.
I've been reasonably busy with work and shit, so my cinema viewings have been minimal. But so I've been absorbing a bit of the Netflix. There's a film called Like Father that's appeared in the last couple of weeks, or some months ago, depending on when this comes out.
With her off of The Good Place.
Yeah, so it's got Kristen Bell in it, who I'm a massive fan of. She was totes amazing in Veronica Mars, which about 3 people have watched. She obviously...
I'm a fan too.
constantly asking people if anybody wants to build a snowman. She's been in The Good Place.
Yeah.
She's been in other stuff. She was in the remake of Chips with her husband, which is not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. It's probably as bad as the Baywatch remake, but there's some good bits in there. It's quite good fun. But she is... And she was also in a film called The Lifeguard, which is about her returning to her family home in a summer where she used to be a lifeguard and going and and stuff happens. And I can't really say a lot about that because I don't want to spoil it, but it is a beautiful, beautiful film, but not necessarily a film to watch if you're feeling a bit sad. But Like Father, though, is I don't really know what the genre is, a dramedy maybe. And also I think I'm going to admit that I saw this on my own. So just before I do that, you can judge me as I explain what it's all about. She's about to get married. Her husband-to-be turns out to be a dick. Her dad, who she's been estranged from for many, many years, just randomly turns up at the wedding. The wedding falls apart at the wedding. She runs off. Dad follows her out. They end up getting pissed. And she invites her dad on the cruise that they had booked as their honeymoon. And hijinks and family bonding ensue. It's got some really, really nice bits in it. I think it's directed by Seth Rogen's wife. Or some kind of connection there. Because he appears in there as a very brief kind of love interest. And he is not playing Seth Rogen. It is absolutely hilarious. He is playing a doddering dolt of a fella. Fairly sure it's Seth Rogen.
Lauren Miller Rogen. Yeah, that's definitely her.
But the thing that really got me about it was the relationship between Kristen Bell and what's his name, Fraser, Kelsey Grammer. Okay. So I was thinking about this afterwards, and while she is working her way through all the cast from Cheers, I think we could do a Cheers remake now, and she should be the person owning the bar. Because you could have Kelsey Grammer and Ted Danson as Sam making infrequent cameos. And I really think she's got great comic timing. I would be on board for that. I think that would be excellent. And I think there's others that could do it.
I think it's only a matter of time. And the thing is as well, now they've kind of worked with like other people, like Woody Harrelson could be in there. And like Danson's worked with Larry David and those guys as well. Yeah. So you could roll them into it. Like, oh man,
I think Kirstie Alley is still with us. Obviously, there are a number of people who are no longer with us because it was about 30 years ago. I think it was on. Yeah, at least 30 years ago.
That's got to happen.
But that's
got to happen.
It remains one of the pinnacles of comedy sitcoms, or just sitcoms generally. Really, even if the first series was a bit weak, it kind of picked up after that, if I remember correctly. One day, I'm going to take the plunge and buy the full Blu-ray set of that for it's 140 quid or something.
Wow.
Christ, I think it would be worth it. But anyway, Like Father, it's a feel-good movie. There's not really any sad bits, and it's not really too preachy, or too, I don't know what's the word, too up its own arse. I found it really endearing, and I'm actually watching it again after this. So
cool.
Just briefly, the other one, which I think you've watched one of these as well, Marcus, or I think both perhaps.
Yep.
There's been a couple of kind of end of the world type movies.
Yes.
One called Extinction.
Yep.
Which that's a bit of a misleading statement as to what it is, and also how it ends.
I've seen them both. Yes.
So shall we start with Extinction? Extinction is It contains some spoilers, so I'm not going to spoil it. But
yeah, I've not seen it.
Basically, there's a people, and there's aliens coming from the sky, and they've got to fight back against them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what the twist is.
No.
But for me, it was signposted very earlier on. A number of people have said it wasn't, and that's fine. But even though I saw it there, I still thought it was lovely. I still thought it was
I did as well.
Beautifully done.
There's some bits, I can't exactly remember where, I agree, where you see some bits, but then to have it confirmed, it's like, yeah, they actually done it.
Yeah. Maybe it was just the right amount of, but that's because of stuff. It's well worth a lot. It's got Michael Pena in it.
But Rob, he's not playing that guy.
No, he's
not playing the role
I found him really fun in the first Ant-Man, that bit that they do twice, and it really wound me up for some reason when he did it in the new one. I don't know why.
But he is nothing like that in this film.
No, okay, well he's got range, that's cool.
It's good. How it ends, though, I don't know if you will agree with me on this, Marcus, was an absolute waste of time for me. I found it
strange.
It was like it was 2/3 of a movie. It had a good start and a good little road bit in the middle, heading towards the end. And as soon as you get to, wow, now stuff's going to happen, the credits begin.
It stops. Yeah. Do you know what it was? It was end of book 1.
Yes. Yeah.
End of book 1. That's what it felt like. And book 2, I expect there to be a continuation. I would expect there to be another film following on from it.
Are they making more of it?
I don't think so. No.
It was... The whole movie is him looking for his wife, picking this guy up and sharing a road trip, basically, to...
you're talking about how... Are we talking about how it ends, or... You were talking about Extinction a moment ago.
Sorry, now I'm talking about how it ends.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
no, yeah,
are you talking about Extinction as...
Well, Extinction ended kind of okay.
Yeah, I thought Extinction worked. I think that was okay.
But how it ends, How it ends is literally how it ends is a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
It's basically a road movie where this guy meets... It's the end of the world. Or, if that's correct, I think I kind of lost... I got to the end and just rage-quitted everything I'd remembered, I think. I think the world is going to end, something's going to end, and this guy gets in a car to go and be with his wife, or something like that. But the movie is basically the road trip. And then, if I remember the ending correctly, and I was quite seething with what the fuck have I just watched, and there's no spoiler here, because I would really not recommend it at all.
Yeah.
He rocks up to his house, his wife comes out and goes, all right, and that's it, that's the credits. There's no kind of massive...
Did he even get that far?
I'm fairly sure he got to her at the end.
But you didn't, Marcus.
I don't know. I watched it, but I don't remember he got to her. I remember he got in a car and then went to carry on.
You'd got in a coma by then.
He did get to his... No, you're right. He got to his wife.
Yeah.
It all went a bit bandy, and she was shacked up with some guy who was a conspiracy theorist nutjob.
Oh, hold on. I may have fallen asleep through some of this.
Yeah, no. It just... I don't remember the actual ending because it was even more mediocre than that.
The curtains had closed.
He goes on the road trip with the dad, played by...
Yes. Yeah, somebody quite well known.
Oh, God, Forrest Whitaker.
That's the one, yep.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker plays the dad, and he's basically... It's a road trip with him trying to get forgiveness from the dad or something, to marry the daughter or something. He wants to get permission.
Yeah. Oh, that's
but
right.
The dad's
he was going to go get permission from the dad.
And he's like a crazed Forrest Whitaker, borderline... Rogue One child, just sort of mental. But I thought it was really good. And then obviously things happen, stupid things happen, and Whitaker eventually, it boils. And then he ends up reaching the wife. She's at this place, shacked up with a conspiracy theorist who believes, and it's basically an attack on the country, and it's all about the infrastructure and everything else to see how people would react. And he goes nuts. He gets killed. And then he goes off with the wife. And I don't exactly remember what happens after that. I think they just go off and that's the end of the film. And it felt like the pilot of a TV series that was just a bit too long. Yeah,
so just very quickly about that. I thought I had lost my mind there. But they end with, they're in a car driving down through the hills. I can
Yes,
confirm that
yeah.
because I'm looking at it on my other browser at the moment. The power of
Yeah.
the
Joys
Netflix.
of Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do the Blade Runner ending, the extended cut,
Yes.
the one that
That might be
Thingy
when
hated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's with the smoke coming after them, that's right. So they're in the car, driving away from stuff, and there's this massive smoke cloud chasing after them.
Yeah.
And that's it. Cut, end, finish. Rubbish.
Anyway,
Ran out of
I did see
script.
something that I did enjoy though.
Go on.
Okay.
Coco.
I quite enjoyed Coco.
Yeah, I want to see it.
It's
It looks great.
it's so good. It's different enough. Sort of Mexico, Day of the Dead. It's so nice and so
It's
heartwarming.
charming. It reminded me
Yeah.
of How to Train Your Dragon, actually.
Yes,
In the kind
like
of-
the first time you watched that.
The joy of it.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah.
I was so
Cool.
happy when certain things kind of happen and stuff, and not just to the main characters but the supporting ones. And I was like,
Yeah.
when you get an from me, I'm getting soppy in my old age, but.
Don't
Get
worry.
the hankies out.
We all do.
But yeah, it's really, I recommend it. I don't want to spoil anything about it because I think everyone needs to just see this and enjoy it if you like animated movies in any way. It's definitely one to recommend, I think.
I'd also
Yeah, I've
recommend
got
it
it
if
on
you
my
don't.
list.
I'd also recommend it if you don't normally like that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's true,
'Cause
actually.
It's not
I'd say it's very
it's not a
similar to
traditional one.
Up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say it's very similar
Yeah.
to Up.
I find it's worth checking in on some of the Disney stuff now and then just to get in touch with your inner child.
It'll look great on your TV, Rob. Seriously.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt.
The richness of the colours. I mean,
Yeah.
we were enjoying it here, so.
Beautiful looking film, definitely.
Cool. Thanks for listening to the Not Watching Podcast, part of the Not Listening Podcast Network, where you can also find the Not Playing Podcast, where we talk about video games, and the Not Listening Podcast, where you can hear Adam and Co. talk about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. You can email us at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. You can find the show notes for all our shows at notlistening.co.uk, and if you like what you've heard here, please do leave us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, bye!